The best things that have been put into Season of Discovery haven't even been announced. And I don't mean announced yet. I mean, they put them in and they just didn't announce it. So that'd be like the weapon skill nerf. They made weapon skill about half as important as it used to be, which is awesome because that means you can play whatever race you want now. This is a fantastic change. And I think it's a fantastic change because no one actually cares about weapon skill as statistic in the game. Like if they took strength out of the game and so everybody just hit a lot more similarly, that would reduce how good the game feels. But I've probably met like 5 people in the entire time I played the game that could actually describe to me how weapon skill works. So I don't think anyone cares about this. All I really think that weapon skill does is encourages RMT because there's items like Edge Masters that are ludicrously expensive. And in my opinion, more importantly, it makes people have less agency in the game because you can't play the race you want to play. And it's just not fair that if you are addicted to anime, you can't play a night elf and do backflips, okay? It's just not fair. But I think that most of the other changes that Blizzard's put in the game beyond this weapon skill one have just really not been too good. I mean, this has been season of adding abilities, all right? And they've added a lot of abilities, bro. A lot of them, okay? So I think it's kind of weird that people think we're going to get maybe 300 new spells by the time Classic Plus is starting or by the time we're level 60, and that this is going to somehow not be retail minus or Wrath the Lich King minus. Come on, man. I mean, that's a whole lot of moves. They're basically telling us that, hey guys, customers, we have a roadmap that's going to take us to Classic Plus. No, I'm not going to describe to you what the process for that will be, what the vision is, what kind of things we think the players care about. We're just going to make changes and give snarky responses on Twitter when you ask questions. For example, although it is hilarious that Agrand wants to meme on people, if you have a customer asking you something like, why is my class not very good? And he says something like, well, why do you think it's never going to change? That's lame. That's really lame. It's totally reasonable to think that the bad things about Blizzard won't change because that's just been the default experience the last many years, all right? And I think a lot of people came back to WoW for SoD without realizing it specifically and only because the level cap was 25. I haven't met anybody that told me that. Like, I'm only playing this because the level cap's 25, but do you really think if the level cap was 40 starting out and people had to spend more than double the time to be able to start doing raids, that that wouldn't dramatically reduce the player pool? Like this was the high leverage smart decision with SoD. It was having the level cap low. This adding runes crap they're doing, this is like low IQ busy work tier stuff for the game. I don't think that that's a really good idea. I think it would take an insane level of precision and vision to add hundreds of moves into the game and not kill the classic feeling. And I don't think there's any chance Blizzard really has the precision to pull it off because think about who we have to interface with as the customer. So there's the ownership. So the owners of Blizzard, okay, the shareholders, they're the only ones who have rights. They're legally, the people in the management are obligated to optimize returns for the owners. All right. That's a problem. The owners aren't necessarily people with long-term vision. Then there's the management. All right. Most of the management probably wants to have a really awesome career. And so everybody who isn't at the highest levels in the organization is trying to get out of the organization anyways, all the time, I bet. And then after that, it's like there's going to be like the employees. Employees. But all of these things have to work together. And vision is supposed to come from the top, go down, maybe get modified a little bit, and then like come back up and everybody's on the same page. We're all aligned, and then we can make an awesome product. Do you really think this is going to happen? The owners are like 78 years old. They like do crosswords for fun. They probably were very late to start using a computer. The management, like they're reptiles. Literally, they're cold-blooded, amoral actors. Not to say they're immoral, but they don't care about you. And the employees, bro, the layoffs all the time. It's like at least once a year they just randomly can like 1 in 10 people. This is bad, okay? The employees why should they have long-term vision? Right? Why should an employee buy into long-term vision even if it existed? I don't think it does, but if it did exist, why should they buy into it? There's a very high chance they'll get their team shifted, their team will get axed, or they'll get axed. It's like, it's very likely that that's going to happen before we get to Classic Plus. I mean, how quickly do you think we're going to get to Classic Plus? You think it's going to be 2 years? Do you think that the people on the SOD team are going to be the same people? How much of the management's going to swap out? I mean, the company got acquired. Come on now. There's going to be lots of churning amongst the ownership too. And most likely, unless Microsoft sees SOD as some super big deal, important thing to make money, like, they're not going to find a way to get the owners to care. The owners are only going to really care about this if it makes big money. If Blizzard sees this as like an easy way to get just a little bit of free money off their IP, which is what I think they see SOD as, then there's no chance for this like Classic Plus stuff. I mean, hell, think about how hard it was to get them to try Classic in the first place. It's very odd to me that most people, at least on Reddit, seem to really trust the Classic SOD team right now. I think that really all these guys have done on that team is they've communicated a lot in a disorganized fashion on social media. They've been funny because they meme on people who ask good or bad questions. And I think a lot of people just think that's cool. You know, I think a lot of people just think it's cool when you just shit talk people when they ask you a question like, oh, you're cool. You have power and you're just gonna, I don't know, crap on people that are just like wondering something. And I'm sure he gets tons of dumb crap comments too, but just don't respond to them. I get dumb comments too. You won't see me responding to them. It's easier for everybody involved. So yeah, I don't know. I hope that people stop saying Blizzard's awesome. We don't need to be freaking out at them. I don't think SOD's in like a terrible place right now. I just have no trust that the ownership structure could make it good. You get me? It'd be in the same way like if I was in charge of Blizzard, it would end up terrible. I don't have the skills to run Blizzard. I'd have no trust in my ability to balance the game and manage a large engineering team. And I don't have any faith in theirs either. With myself, it's because I don't have the skills. With them, I don't trust them because their track record has been they screw us, okay? And so, why is it so weird to just be really sus of Blizzard right now? I don't know. Everywhere I look, people are like, oh, yeah, you're going against the feeling, the spirit of Season of Discovery. It's like, do you really think there's a spirit to this? It's a like multi-billion dollar tech firm that's owned by people who don't like video games. Do we really think that this Season of Discovery stuff is at all about any ideals? It's not. It's only about making the money. It doesn't mean it can't be fun, but man, like, you can't let them derail you with like this silly politicking. It's just ridiculous.